Need to get my haircut. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Talk of the Town podcast, brought to you by Thrifty Van and Car Hire. They sponsor me and Nath. On a side note, I had a Thrifty van in work the other day. We've got a hire van in work. It had the three things that you definitely want as a van driver: comfy seat, really good stereo, and more cup holders than I could use. So if you need to hire a van or a car, with it becoming warmer months, it's obviously important to stay hydrated. Big one from Thrifty. That's not an ad. That is, well, it is an ad, but it's also not an ad. It's also a true story. Anyway, we're going to talk about football now. Nate, you all right, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, obviously had the incredible events of Saturday where we're coming back from 2-0 down and then Cal showing up in a big way and that last minute win honestly would probably be go down as my favourite moment since being at Exmouth. It was just incredible and yeah, so really happy from that and hopefully it's the start of another really good run after a little bit of a blip.
Yeah, Cal only scores goals against Bristol Manor Farm, I think, because he scored that absolute screamer last year in the reverse of what happened. But we'll get on to
Yes. Yeah.
Saturday in a moment. I'm glad I missed it, but there's lots of great action from the camera and stuff on that. We've not done one of these in a while because mainly because of me. Basketball has kind of taken off in a big way, so I've been off doing that. That finishes this weekend, so apologies. I kind of had to juggle both of Town and Raiders. I love both clubs, so it's kind of a privilege, not a curse. And Nath has obviously been on 1,000 holidays, as is the standard
Mhm.
joke. So since we last did one of these, we spoke last time about Jack was at the Bristol Manor Farm game and that he was hoping to be back. He is now back. He's
Yeah.
featured in the last three games, four games,
Yes. Free. Yeah, that's free.
last three games. Obviously not fully fit. They're kind of every time he comes on the pitch, it's like Bambi walking through a minefield. But it's great to see Jack back playing. I know that he was liking everyone's tweets and messages and stuff. So he's obviously very aware that we all back him. So it's great to see him back on the pitch. Denny is out for the rest of the games. He fell over in
No,
this.
no, sorry, I'll interrupt
No?
there. Update from the
Oh,
the people themselves that he's back in hopefully start of April. He'll be back. He
he'll be
was
back
out
and stuff.
running in the Cinderford game warming up, and he was doing a little bit before the Manor Farm game. So according to the people closest to him, that we're hoping for an April return. So hopefully back on the bench for Evesham. And I mean, this is a guy that's played with a broken leg or a really messed up ankle. So I'm sure this wrist thing is just I think the word is that the wrist it can't get any worse and if it was just a fall on it like it's all the rebuilding's been done so if it's drawn it would just hurt a lot but it won't actually further damage anything so we will have Aaron back before the end of the season hopefully in April but obviously again it'll be similar to Jack in the sense of obviously not as long but it will be rebuilding that fitness and he'll be back and that'll be a big boost going into the playoff hopefully getting into playoffs or at least trying to.
You can tell that me and Nath aren't medical people. The fact that we've just butchered the description of two players coming out for injury. Denny's also, I think, is the second player at Town to fall over while running and break his hand. Because Levi, I remember, did that
One
previously.
was off. One was off
Um,
and one was on.
that should maybe be the club's motto: Exmouth Town Football Club, the club where you break your hand while running. Um, Also, Tor Swan and Ben's long lost brother Luke have both joined. Um, both have been fantastic since signing. Both have contributed. Both have kind of, I suppose it kind of feels like they've been here the entire season, which I think is credit to both of them. Both really nice lads as well. Um, both bring something different to the squad.
Yeah, yeah, Tor definitely.
Yeah,
Luke is adds that similar sort of to Aaron, I guess, in that technical side in the midfield. So yeah, but definitely Tor feels like he's been here the whole time, and Luke's now finally, not finally, but he's starting to bed into the team now. Obviously, it was a bit of more of a stuttered start for him in terms of just getting those minutes off the bench, whereas Tor was straight in the team. Luke's finally, just establishing himself and getting himself starting in the team and showing straight away why he was wanted from Tavistock earlier in the season.
Yeah, signed from Tavistock, joining the another person joining the crew of someone that's left Tavistock to come to Exmouth Town. Just stop copying me, guys. There's no need for it. Also, I did double check. This does is a nice little segue. Supporters Player of the Season votes are open. I think you can do it online.
Um,
It's on the MTC page. If you can't find it, message the official accounts and we'll point you in the right direction. I think it's on the MTC merch stand as well. You can do it in person on match days. Um, I'm not quite sure when they're closing the day on that, but if you join the
oh,
MTC pages and
12th
stuff
of
and the chat,
April.
pardon?
12th of April it closes, yeah, and you can do it online or in the MTC shop.
Yep. Also, I double checked. If you vote for Steer, that is neither a vote or double vote. So you apparently have to put the person's first name in it. I suppose a lot of people have been discussing that Frankie and Tom, obviously the two favourites, both played incredibly well.
Yes.
Obviously, we try and stay completely impartial. But Nath, if you didn't vote for Frankie or for Tom, who would you vote for?
I can I know I've voted already. I won't say who, but I mean there's so many players that have been very good and deserve a mention. It's a tough one really because Frankie and Tom have obviously been the outstanding players in terms of Frankie's kept us in so many games, Tom's won us so many games, but the likes of Mike and Louis have been absolutely superb this season. Joe Belston as well, and that's only mentioning a few of the players. I won't go through the whole squad because we'll be here all day, but those players deserve a massive shout out, and the whole squad have genuinely been really good because again we'll speak about perspective probably, but we are in the playoffs still, and it is March, and we last season in March we were starting to believe we really were going to stay in the league, and if we're honest with ourselves, if there were 4 teams going down, we'd have been gone last season, would have been in the Western League this season. So goes to show how good this season's been. And so that whole really important that we mentioned the whole squad. But yeah, Frankie and Tom are the complete front runners for that award in the same way Mike was last season during that resurgence. So it always goes that way with awards, but all the players deserve a massive congratulations. But job's not done yet, and then so they can build on it and really make something special happen if we can keep this good run going.
I personally am going to vote for Louis Morrison because Louis has just brought me moments of absolute entertainment, mostly not for footballing reasons, just moments of sheer entertainment. I literally have no idea what he's going to do. I thought of a new we could do a reality TV show in the summer. Kev, Louis, and then two other people in a people carrier driving around Britain, non-league rounds. I don't know who else we could have in there. I did think maybe Safi, but then that would potentially just be Squid Games because I imagine she probably would murder both of them. So we'd have to think of someone else to put in there with them. If you've got two other people from the club, you think that would have a nice little mix in there, go in the Exmouth Town people carrier, ITV2. If you're listening, I'm selling this idea to you. Do get in touch. Anyway, so that's that. There's events. We've got karaoke, I think. Did you say?
Yes, I'm not sure what else, but I do know for sure we've got karaoke this Friday, so that's the 21st. And yeah, get down for that. I'm sure it's a good night. Usually relatively popular in terms of people going down, have a little sing song. It's the same company that always does it, so you know what you're getting. There's a reason they keep coming back. It's because they're reliable. So yeah, make sure you're there. And obviously, any further announcements of events, either us or Elaine will put it on the Facebook. So just keep an eye, and the Twitter as well, of course. Keep an eye out on that, and yeah, hopefully there'll be more going on in the club in the near future.
Yeah, and you still can buy memberships, obviously, for the run into the end of the season. That does get you to all the events as well. End of season awards will be coming up, and end of season do and stuff will be coming up. So we'll put all that sort of stuff on the social media, and we'll publicize it
When we know.
when we
Yeah.
know where we give the information. But there is lots of stuff going on in the background. We just haven't been fed the information yet. Um, that's everything to do with events, news. We will come up to upcoming fixtures and travel because there is travel as there has been to all the games, away games this season. Nathan will have that. Since we last did one of these podcasts, I remember last time we did one of these, I took a deep breath and read out all the fixtures. So I'm going to do the same again. We have played Tavistock at home, beat them 1-0. Tor Swan scored a penalty on his debut. We've beaten Cinderford 2-1. That was a quite
Yeah.
hard fought,
Incredibly foggy. Yeah.
incredibly foggy game. Two early goals for us. They got one back just before half time. And then kind of we saw the game out in half time. In the second half,
Yeah. Really scrappy.
could have got a
Yeah.
third towards the end. Went to Willand, got a 1-1 draw in a really, really tough game. think we were pretty happy with the draw in the end, and I think William were pretty happy as well. Kind of one of those games where it could have gone either way, um, but I think a point on the day was enough. Then a game against Malzor that was described by the home team as a smash and grab.
Mm. Yeah,
I
yeah, it
quoted that.
was, to be
That's what
fair.
they called it.
Um,
Yep.
but sometimes you earn those victories, and that's the thing. It wasn't a robbery in the sense of if we'd have beaten Malvern, would have been a complete robbery. They didn't really do a lot to my memory. I could be wrong, but we forced them, just to shots outside the box. They had the one chance that was offside. And that was a bit of a dodgy offside, to be fair. But we've had one at Falmouth. It happens, and sometimes you deserve the luck you get. And we defended so well, and it was really a proud away performance, and it was the perfect away performance as well. So they will obviously feel salty about it because they had the ball for ages, but they didn't do a whole lot with it. We did what we needed to do when we had the ball, and that was score, which they didn't. And at the end of the day, that's the only stat that matters is the goals. And that was a really good win. And Mousel could say that the first one was definitely a smash and grab, the home one, but I would say this was more of a grinded away performance, and it was a bit different. And it was a really, really good defensive, probably the best I've seen us defend ever. So really, really good. I remember almost feeling very proud on that day of the team because they fought so hard for it and managed to get it as well.
Yeah, well, I watched it back and as Nate said, it was a proper team performance as well. And I listened to it on the radio stream, and when Tom scored, was jumping around my kitchen like an idiot. We've only lost one game in Cornwall this year as well. Little stat for you.
Good, and that was dodgy as well.
No, yeah, with your words, not mine. Then we played Didcot, which I think, and I was only there partially for that game. I think that did that end 4-1 or 4.
Yes, yeah, for that was a good one because I mean, a very nice club Didcot and
Yeah.
lovely media guy as well. But he told me that they're going to go for it. He wouldn't be surprised if they ended up sort of taking a bit of a beating because they go for teams. And obviously, as we know, the issue usually for us is teams that sit back. When teams come at us a bit more, we tend to do better, and that was the case against Didcot, and we took advantage. They had some good chance. I remember that first 10, 15 minutes of Christ from it really in a game here, but we just managed to take it away and take it away from them and win that game quite dominantly in the end. So yeah, that was another really good win.
I got to the ground just before halftime for that one because I was doing some basketball bits for Raiders. And we were already 3-0 up. Didcot are a lovely club as well. If you're ever in the Didcot area and they've got a home game, go support them. They said a lot of really nice things about us as a club on their official social media accounts. Hans is their media guy, is an absolute legend as well. A club very similar to us. Um, Remember we played them when I was at Tavi. Just genuinely really nice people, very similar to us. So if you're in the Didcot area or you're looking for a non-league game and they're in Devon, message them because they would love to have you with them, I suppose, as well. Like they're a lovely club. Can't speak highly enough for them. So I think that's everything there, isn't it? 4-1. I can't remember who scored. Was it Tom Bath hat trick or was I
I
dreaming
don't,
that?
I won't be able to tell you.
No, I
Those
can't remember.
goals,
It was
four of
such a long time ago. We won 4-1, that's all we know on that one.
them.
We then lost to Shaftesbury, Westbury, and Malvern.
Yeah.
Shaftesbury was the last game that me and Nathan were both at together.
Yes.
Um, Lovely club, great day. Nathan had to wear a man's boots to walk on the pitch, set the V up. They were about four
Yeah.
sizes too big. That was the only highlight of the day. Tesco's next to the ground is amazing as well. Definitely fully recommend it. Not discussing Malvern, and I'm not discussing Westbury because I've tried to erase that from my mind.
Malvern was tough, but Malvern we just got Shaftesbury as well to a point. But Shaftesbury was frustrating because you conceded the goal late on the counter. But to be fair, they probably deserved it. They were a really good side, and three ex pros in their front three, and just the way they would knock the ball around was pretty impressive and much better than what their league position suggests. And then Malvern, I mean, I was at the Westbury game, I can't speak to that, but again, heartbreaking losing so late. And then Malvern was we just got we got battered, and that happens sometimes in football. You don't turn up, and we really didn't. They could have won that game 7-0. We almost equalised right at the end, and that would have been, you want to talk smash and grab, that would have been a smash and grab because, with all due respect, we were terrible that game. And Malvern are the informed team in the league. They are the team to beat at the moment, even probably more so than Yate. And they're very tough to beat. And they were just a better side on the day. But again, all these sort of blips, it's all about how you respond. It almost felt like we were falling a bit further for the Cinderford game, which was 2-2. And again, a late goal, which has been a really frustrating part of the form recently with Yakubu turning up late. What are you going to say?
the Cinderfoot on the day was quite frustrating as well. But when you also factor in the fact that 3 days later they went all the way to Houston and beat them 8-2, you kind
Yeah.
of maybe look at it that
No, yeah, definitely. But the performance wasn't ideal. To be honest, we didn't play very well. And then again, it's if you're not playing very well, you get in front, and we it was a really weird in terms of there was like shifts, so like they would dominate, and then we would dominate, and then they, it was never like equal. And they probably should have gone 2-0 up when they scored, and then we should have probably gone far ahead. Isaac and Jack played really well when they came on, but Isaac couldn't quite take the chances, and that happens. And then unfortunately we don't quite defend the lead, which was frustrating. It was a great header, to be fair. Frankie had no chance, but yeah, so it was a frustrating one because again, it's that old habits, and losing late after losing late a couple of times in the last few weeks. But again, and then you go 2-0 down against Bristol Manor Farm, and you start thinking, oh no, this isn't gonna be the case. And Frankie, bless him, had he's been so good. And I was thinking for a young goalkeeper for this to be the first game that he looked a little bit shaky, if we're just being honest, and he did, and that second goal sort of showed that. For that to be the first time that happens for a 19-year-old lad on loan is so impressive in its own way, because Christ, like we've all seen young goalkeepers play for our teams. It doesn't always look pretty at times, and usually it goes the other way where if anyone remembers Sinisalo at Exeter, I mean, he was like you thought he never played in goal before when he first started, but then by the end of it, he's ended up getting a move to Celtic. That's how much he settled in. Whereas Frankie has just been excellent the whole time, saved us a bunch of points, and you could feel the team rally around him and make sure they got that win, or at least they were going to get a point for him, and then just to go that step further and get that win for him. And Kevin himself said you could feel the team want to get him out of that, for it to be the first time that's happened, and say, look, thank you for saving us all those points. We're going to save these points for you now. And they did that in the most dramatic way, in the best way. Callum Shipton, who's turned into quite the goal scorer this season, that's his fourth goal, um, got in it, and it was a great goal as well. And so yeah, one of the best moments, as I said earlier, unbelievable. And Manor Farm, it's that karma. 2 years in a row, late goals away, and now we can do it to them. And it's fair play to their support, very loud. They were making a lot of noise, and they called our place, all sorts of library. They were given over to Frankie and that, but they were sent home with 0 points. And all due respect to them, they were very loud. Probably the best set of fans we've had there this season. But that's karma for the last 2 years.
yeah. So touch on the Bristol Manor Farm thing. That was the worst experience last season going there, and being stood there as their players' knee slid in front of me and being mobbed by their fans while I was trying to put on Twitter that we'd conceded. Um, I wasn't at Saturday's game, unfortunately, but I was keeping regular updates. And when I discovered that we'd won 3-2, I was elated, and I was even more elated when I discovered that Cal had scored. Because he works his absolute socks off, as all the lads do. But he's been at the club for so long, and he gets a lot of stick because he doesn't score, and he's always very humble about it. Um, his celebration wasn't what I was expecting when I watched it back on the video. I was expecting him to just run and just jump headlong into the crowd. Very cool and calm and collected. There is a video on my personal Twitter and on my Facebook. I can send it to people, of our bench. I can't get audio and I can't get the camera to move, so it's kind of video on my phone. But the look of sheer joy of all the subs running onto the pitch, Dave and Hilly. Um, Last season, that loss kickstarted our season and we survived. This season, hopefully, it kickstarts us out of this tiny little slump we've been in. It's what, March, February, and we've had hit the first time we've had a sticky patch. I think if we were sat here in pre-season when we did this podcast and you said to us, we're going to get to March and things are going to look a little bit sticky, and you're going to pick up a point at Cinderford away. You're going to pick up 3 points against Bristol Manor Farm in a comeback. You probably would have been like, okay, yeah, that's fine, yeah, based on what
Yeah,
last season was like. So I think that in perspective, not been great, but the lads are going to pick themselves up and go again. On the Frankie thing as well, I thought it was very telling that the first reaction after the ball went in the net was, I think it was Mike or Louis or Joe or someone went and picked Frankie up because had his head in his hands and just, I don't know what they said, just walked off as if to say like we're all in this together. And Frankie will come back stronger. We all know he's amazing. So here's what it is. We win as a club, we lose as a club. Go again. Frankie is also the star of a bit of content we did. We strapped the GoPro to Rolo on the social medias. It's going to be on the YouTube as well. Go watch it because it's fascinating to see how good Frankie is that close, and how good Rolo is at picking a ball up and kicking it. Um, yeah, I think that's everything. Before the Bashley game as well, we did win that 3-0.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. That was a
Um,
good win as well.
the lads had a video analysis session before that. They have done some sort of stuff like that before. I'm not going to go into details what they did because it doesn't matter. Um, they did, and that was all thanks to the video system that's sponsored by Thrifty. So all of the lads were there. Dave has cut up loads of clips and showed the lads, and the reaction from them, even though we lost a few games since after the Bashley game, was fantastic. They kind of did everything Dave and Hilly were asking of them in tenfold. So they are all working incredibly hard behind the scenes. Dave is on the video on Sunday morning or Monday morning. I know he's showing Hilly clips. The lads are looking at the clips and stuff, and they are all striving to get better. Um, so yeah, they are all working flat out. So this sticky patch has been and gone. We go again. I think that's everything. I don't think there's anything else game wise, is there?
Not game wise, no. I was going to say probably branch into the good segue to the. We have had a couple issues with the VO as great as it's been as of late. So if you've ever wondered why the highlights aren't there or things like that, it's just because the VO is playing up. It's not. There's quite literally very little we can do. In fact, Leg's probably gone a bit above and beyond to try and get that sorted and get those highlights out for you guys because it's a Danish company or the person who runs it in Denmark and
Yeah,
had to go and email and get in contact with him and all that to try and sort it. So but if there's been any issues with highlights and stuff, which
yeah.
obviously there was nothing from the Westbury game, but that's why because the system wasn't working and there's very little you can do about that when you're relying on it.
As a club, we uncovered a bug in their system where it wouldn't
Mm.
work on all um, media browsers, and that's why it was taken. That's why there's nothing from Westbury. I was on emailing back and forth with their customer care department in Denmark, and I was on the phone with one of their engineers for like 20 minutes, half hour on three separate occasions throughout my working day while they were trying to work out the issue. The bug is now fixed. Um, I did ask because we've discovered the bug, could we have like maybe some free stuff from them? And no, they weren't interested in that. The Danish humor and my humor doesn't match. But yeah, that's all fixed now. So highlights will be coming out regularly, and there's gonna be loads more clips and videos and stuff coming along the way. Radio, obviously, Nathan is absolutely killing it. If on away game, we'll let you know now. There's one more away game where I'm not going to be at. Um, listen to the radio that
Yeah,
Nate does because you'll get instant updates. Because it's obviously quite difficult for him and me, for me to do it remotely and for him to kind of do it at the same time. So
and I
even if
can't
I'm
talk
at
all
the
the
games
time.
and I'm tweeting out,
So,
listen to his commentary because
yeah.
it's fantastic. We've had a couple where you've had like over 100 people.
Yeah, we've had some really good ones
Yeah,
recently, and definitely it's worth checking.
yeah,
Obviously, I take great pride in it, and I really enjoy doing it. So definitely looking. Obviously, sometimes the signal goes, and that happened at Malvern. It's probably happened quite a few times, and my battery on my laptop's fixed, so we won't have that issue ever again. But or at least for the next year or so. And then, but sometimes the signal is funny at these places, and so make sure you're actually following the account because obviously, if we turn up and the signal's not working the way we want it to, then we will update you on there and obviously try and get it on the main account as well. But general rule, if it's the away games and it's just me, the commentary is running. The Twitter updates and the Facebook updates are limited to goals and subs pretty much because and halftime and full time because it's very hard to deliver a voice, deliver a commentary the way I would like to, while also it's just a skill I don't have talking and typing. I'm sure some people do it very well, but it's just not always possible. And so it is what it is. But thank you all for tuning into that. And then, yeah, we'll be back for the next game against Bemerton coming up Saturday. And then we have Evesham as well. And I can't remember the next one after that. I think Cribs.
Cribs,
And
Lark.
then Larkpool to finish things off. And I'll be at all those games. So, and I also think exit all of them after Evesham, so the last two. So,
Yeah.
as it stands, you'll have full Twitter text commentary if you can. Because I understand making the live commentary isn't always possible. You're in situations you can't quite put your earphones in, or you can't because you're out for lunch or something. It'd be a bit rude to just put my voice on full blast. Not everyone
No,
needs to hear that. So
no, I do
yeah,
it.
thank you all. Thank you all for tuning in, and yeah, just thank you. Yeah, and we'll be back on Saturday.
And I was crossing my fingers there because hopefully we've got one, two playoff games.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff we are working on media wise for the end of this season because we trial lots of stuff towards the end of this season. And then if it works, we'll carry it on into next season and preseason. So you'll kind of see a few more random bits coming, specifically video stuff, content, and those sorts of things because we trial them towards the end of the season and then we'll carry them on to the new season if they work. Which means you probably got us for the new season as well. So apologies about that. I think that's everything. Games coming up. We have got Bemerton on Saturday.
Yes.
There is a coach running. Have you got the details for the coach? Because I've wrote everything down in
Yeah.
tiny writing on my pad and I can't read it.
Minibus is sold out for
Oh,
this one, but obviously keep an eye out on the Mufftown Casuals Facebook group in case there's any late availability. Sam does a really good job running that
yeah.
alongside Nick, who drives the coaches. So yeah, so make sure you're tuned in for that. I believe it's a minibus for the rest of them. The Evesham one is the only one I know that is going fully, being taking bookings and stuff because I was asked on Saturday. So yeah, so Evesham's around, but again, that's not technically an official club thing, so we don't tend to have a hand in that. So if you want a space, go on the Mufftown Casuals website because Facebook group, sorry, because that's where you will see the advertising. Also join the WhatsApp group as well if you are a member, because that's where you'll see the updates for that because it's a really important thing, but it's also a fan run thing. So we can't, as much as we want to promote it as much it is, we Mufftown Casuals first come first serve over there because they do such a great job organizing it, and it's been really good. And obviously, it's been absolutely pivotal for me myself as well. So, yeah, really great service there. And yeah, make sure you're there because
Yeah.
these they sell out fast as well. These are the away day tickets. So get yourself in there. Don't miss out because again, these are big games coming up, and the train's quite expensive these days. So
Yeah. If you can't find the group, drop one of the official accounts a message and we'll point you in the direction as well, or we'll get Sam to contact you. We'll sort you out is basically what we're saying from an official club point of view because they do some great things, the MTC, and Sam is tirelessly runs the bus and everything he does for that. So thank you to Sam. Also, I forgot. Thank you to all the guys last Sunday and this Sunday. Sam organised a work pie for the rubble and for carrying bricks over for the wall, which was damaged. Thank you to all of them. Those pictures are on social media. Thank you to all those guys that did all of that work. Um, Genuinely, the community that is at our football club never fails to stagger me and Nath and everybody. So thank you from the bottom of our heart on behalf of the club. And I'm sure there'll be more of those coming up at some point in over the summer. Me and Nathan, I'm not allowed to use power tools because I'm an idiot, but I will be at some of them pushing a wheelbarrow and sweeping up. Back to the fixtures anyway. So we've got Bemerton this Saturday. We've got Bemerton at home at some point because that game's been postponed twice. I think the date needs to be confirmed by the league. Once that's been confirmed, we'll put it on social media. Um, and there has been discussions and there's been talk of when it is and stuff, but until it's been confirmed by the league, we're not allowed to say when it is. I know that's just sounds stupid, but we've got to do these things. 29th, we're home to Bishop's Cleeve.
big game,
5th of April, we're away to Evesham, which is massive.
even bigger game.
Even bigger game. Yeah, we won there last season. Book on the bus for that because the lads are going to need all your support. Lovely clubhouse, lovely ground. We are then home to Falmouth, which is also going to be a massive game because they're going to bring a trumpet and it's going
Yeah,
to get really, really, really annoying. If you are from Falmouth and you're in a trumpet, please don't bring it. Then we're away to Cribs on the 19th, home to Helston, who are fighting for their lives now at the bottom of the league, near the
yeah,
bottom of the league,
that's
as are
great.
Cribs. And then we are away to Larkhall, which is also really difficult to go to win at. That's on a 3G. They've done a load of work there at their grounds all over the summer. Looks amazing. That game is the 26th. And then potentially, no, just not even going to say it. Season ends on the
Yeah,
26th. I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to be the person that says it. Season ends on the 26th, as we know of at the minute.
hopefully. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't.
Stay tuned. There's never a dull moment at this football club. Something's going to happen. We're going to the playoffs. We're going to the playoffs. We're going to win the league. We're going to win the Champions League. That is everything concerning the club, news and games. Um, there are shirts on sale as well. Um, at the moment, I can't remember. I think it was 35, but they are available. Contact the social media accounts or go speak to someone on a match day
Yeah.
from the club. Find me and Nathan Rolo, and they'll be able to sort you out with those. Um, I think that's everything. I need to buy a bigger pad of paper because this notes have been appalling here. So Nate, I suppose for the end of the season, we need to kind of have a bit of perspective, but prediction on where we finish.
Oh God. I would say in the
Yeah,
playoffs. I'm not going to say too much. I ain't going to say the position. I don't really care. Obviously, ideally, you want the home semi-final. But I think we're going to finish in the playoffs because But this run, especially this next three games, well, four when you include the rearranged Bemerton game, whenever that is, um, that's going to tell. I think because all those teams are around us or above us, that's going to be the teller. And then you'd feel pretty confident if you can come out of that with a really good run. You feel pretty confident going into the last few games and feel like we could really get somewhere. But yeah, I mean, we've been in the playoffs so long, well, that's what's finishing them. Do you know what I mean?
you weren't listening because the answer was the season finishes at Larkhill, as far as we know currently. That was the answer that I was
Oh,
looking
so
for.
where are we going to finish? I'm talking too analytic. I'm too smart. That's the issue. But that's where. Well, hopefully we finish. We don't finish at Larkhill. That's why I'm not saying
No,
nothing about finishing. I don't want to finish at Larkhill. I want one more at least.
we're going to the playoffs. The lads deserve it. Everybody at the club
Hopefully.
deserves at least one game in the playoffs. Um, what will be will be. We'll be all be back next season, but the lads deserve, as do Dave and Hilly and everybody involved in the club, that day in the playoffs. We're going to make the playoffs. That's all we need to know. Not now. We're going to do it. I've stick my neck on the line. Anyway, we've blabbered on enough. We'll see you all very soon. Have a good one. Book on the bus. Go to all the events. Support the lads. Buy a shirt as well. Like, they're on sale. I'm going to buy one. Might buy two. Might buy the away one. Yeah. Anyway, have a good one. Bye.